Yo, what is up guys? It's me, exactly. After there being no games, no news, no anything from a couple of days to talk about yesterday, plenty of stuff happened last night that we can talk about today. So we are back and welcome to day 39 of the 2017-2018 NBA season, but let's just get into everything that did go down now. Lego. Rumors have it that the Cleveland Cavaliers would consider a swap of DeAndre Jordan for Tristan Thompson if it was presented to them. If DeAndre Jordan does become available by the time the trade deadline rolls around. I find that to be pretty funny that they said they would consider it. There wouldn't be much to consider here at all, Cleveland. You can swap Tristan Thompson for DeAndre Jordan. What GM, what team in their right mind wouldn't make that swap? The only thing there would be to consider is if LA would ask for, I don't know, the Brooklyn pick as well in that swap, because let's be real here, they would most likely ask for something else. No one in their right mind is just gonna give up DeAndre Jordan for Tristan Thompson. What would they gain from that? That's the only way I could see that trade not going down. But that's not even really worth talking about more in depth right now, because that's still a huge if, even though I wouldn't be surprised if the Cleveland Cavaliers somehow managed to land DeAndre Jordan. That's a long ways down though. We still don't even know if DeAndre Jordan is up for trade or will be up for trade. And if he is, it won't happen till February, so there's no point in discussing that right now. What is worth discussing right now though is Derrick Rose. The man is going through some things right now. Derrick Rose walked away from the Cavs yesterday to reevaluate his future in the NBA, saying that he was tired of getting injured all the time. It was taking a toll on his mental health. I can only imagine how upsetting it must have been for Rose to keep trying to come back, but every time he does, something else goes wrong. And this time, it was just supposed to be a sprained ankle. That was like a month ago. Now it got worse to the point that he has to wear a boot on his foot to alleviate the pain. So he's probably just at home, spending some time with his family, deciding if it is worth coming back to the NBA once again. If he can actually even come back this time. And LeBron James said yesterday after the Cavs game that he and the team are completely fine with whatever decision Derrick Rose makes as long as he's happy, even if that means not coming back to the Cavs at all.
What do you feel like that means? What he's going through, what it means for him, and what it means for his team?
I don't think it means too much for the team, but I think, more importantly, as one of his brothers and somebody that we got to know these last couple months, we want whatever he decided to do, we want the best for him. At the end of the day, you can't substitute nothing for happiness. And obviously we know the injuries that he's been going throughout his whole career, and we hope this ain't the end. But if it is, I was happy I got an opportunity to spend a couple months with him, and watch him, be the great point guard that he once was, and but at the end of the day, a clear head. There's no substitute for that. We want the best for Derrick at the end of the day. So, no matter if he comes back, no matter if he doesn't, we want him as an individual, as a man, as a father, to be just happy with whatever decision he makes.
I think this is going to be great for Rose either way. If he doesn't come back, then it's great, because that most likely means that he's happy now. It will be beyond selfish for any of us to wish Derrick Rose to come back if he's not happy. And if he does come back, that's great too, because that most likely means that he refound his passion for the game again. Even if he comes back around playoff time or close to the finals even, if he doesn't play a single game till then, that is also fine as long as he stays in shape. But it's just crazy to think about how good he could have been, and I do think he will return this year. Once he takes some time away from the game, if there's any part of him that still feels like he has some unfinished business on the court, he will come back. And honestly, you guys already all know my policy. Look, if the Detroit Pistons aren't winning a championship, then I could care less who actually wins. It's like no one won it in my mind. It doesn't even register as a win, because there have only been 3 championships won in NBA history as far as I'm concerned. That being said though, if Derrick Rose does return and plays in the NBA Finals, if the Cleveland Cavaliers get a ring, if Derrick Rose gets a ring this year, I'll be pretty happy. I'll be extremely happy for him, because the man deserves it. All that being said, if the Cavs keep winning like this without Rose and IT, once they come back and are at full strength, who knows? Maybe they will be able to get another ring this year. The Cavs seemingly have found their groove with this group of players now, as with the 100-99 win over the Hornets, they have now won 7 straight games. LeBron James with a triple-double of 27 points, 16 rebounds, and 13 assists, even though it took him changing shoes at the halftime break break to get it. I'm a little weird sometimes. I wasn't playing well to my standards. I wanted to try and make my second half better than my first half, and I was able to make a couple of plays. Well, weird or not, it worked. He only had 6 points at the half and still finished with a great game when it was all said and done. In order for Rose to get that ring though, the Cavs will most likely have to get through these guys, and I'm not talking about the Chicago Bulls here. The Golden State Warriors, KD, was out nursing a sprained ankle again, and Draymond just didn't feel like playing, which was cool because it allowed Jordan Bell to get the start against a team that sold him on draft night. I'm pretty sure Green and the Warriors had this whole thing planned out, kind of wanted to rub it in Chicago's face a little bit, and they did. Mission accomplished. Bell was drafted first and foremost as a defender and a shot blocker, and the dude did both those things really well last night. He had 6 blocks and 2 steals on the night. Draymond Green 2.0, just wait on it. And even though without 2 of their stars, best players, the Warriors were still able to blast the Bulls to infinity and beyond, 143-94. Stephen Curry wasn't playing any games with Chicago in the second quarter. Man went off for 26 points in the second. This Warriors team is still insanely scary to play against. They have 3 guys that can do on any night in any quarter what Curry did last night. Curry finished the game with 33 points, and Klay Thompson also played well with 29. Go on a 16-game winning streak, lose 1 and pick right back up where you left off. The final score of this game made it seem a lot closer than it was. The Magic were just playing for pride in the final period and trying to close up the gap a bit. But make no mistake about it, this game was over at halftime. Kyrie Irving was in Human Torch mode, hitting just about everything. He put up for 30 points last night, as well as the crowd was chanting MVP throughout the game. If the Celtics keep playing like this, even though Irving most likely won't have the best stats, that will still be a real possibility. He very well could win MVP. 118-103 was the final score. Once again though, the game wasn't that close. Much to the despair of Legend of Winning, aka Low, the Pistons won again yesterday. After being down double digits like they seem to be in all of their games, they came back to get the 99-98 nail-biting win over the Thunder. The bench for Detroit was huge last night, outscoring the Thunder's bench 35-13 in the game, and I think Westbrook just fell a bit too in love with the 3-point shot last night, especially in the fourth quarter. He did have a triple-double with 27 points, 11 rebounds, and 11 assists, but was 10 of 29 from the field and 1 of 10 from deep. The Pistons were daring him to shoot, and he just kept shooting. The Pelicans have now won 7 of their last 10 games. Yesterday was against the Phoenix Suns, but I'm not going to discredit them for the win just because of who they beat. They were supposed to beat the Suns, and they did. That's all that matters. 115-89 was the final score, and I've also noticed that Cousins and Davis are doing less, but it is resulting in more wins for New Orleans. Davis and Cousins are both still really good, but they're like letting other guys help out more. Davis had 23 points and 9 rebounds, and Cousins had 19 points, 10 rebounds, and 6 assists, and I just can't wait to see what this team is going to do in the playoffs once they get the playoff version of Rajon Rondo. Lowry and the Raptors started off this game hot, but cooled off in the second half. Victor Oladipo had been complaining of knee soreness throughout the game, and eventually he came out in the fourth quarter and went to the locker room. It's nothing serious, and he said after the game that he wanted to go back in the game after getting checked out, but the Pacers head coach Nate McMillan said that there was no need for him to go back in the game at all since Lance Stevenson was playing so well in the fourth quarter. Stevenson hadn't done much for Indy off the bench throughout the first 15 or so games that the Pacers have played so far this year, but as of late, he has started to come alive. He had a huge fourth quarter against Detroit a few games back and had another one tonight against Toronto, scoring 13 of his 18 points in the fourth quarter to get the Pacers the 107-104 win over the Raptors. It was bombs away for Miami last night. Wayne Ellington came in off the bench and really set the tone for how the game was going to go. The Heat were only up 1 when he checked in, but then he hit back-to-back threes, and all of a sudden no one on the Heat can miss from distance anymore. 19 of 39 from deep for Miami last night as they get the 109-97 win over the Wolves, who were without Jeff Teague. Goran Dragic was 5 of 8 from deep for 20 points, and the man who started it all, Wayne Ellington, was 6 of 9 from deep for 21 off the bench. Started good, ended terribly for the New York Knicks last night. They finished the fourth quarter with a 39-24 lead, but it was all downhill from there as Atlanta came away with the 116-104 win. Look, I bag on this Hawks team a lot, especially this season, but it's just all for fun. Don't take it too seriously. Dennis Schroeder is a great point guard. He has been having a really good under-the-radar season so far. He had 26 points and 8 assists last night, and John Collins also has a bright future in the NBA as well. Still gonna be a rough year for the Hawks fans, but it is a much-needed year of tanking for them. Porzingis had 28 and Courtney Lee had 26 for the Knicks. The high-scoring Portland Trailblazers that I know are back. It's been a while since they had a game like this, but just because they scored a bunch of points doesn't mean that it was an easy win. That man Spencer Dinwiddie has low-key been balling out ever since D'Lo went down, and the Nets have been scaring teams, not winning, but scaring teams because of it. He continued to play well as he had 23 points and 6 assists last night, but he also had 21 and 8 against Golden State and 25 and 8 against the Jazz too. Dude has been putting up some great numbers, but it wasn't enough as the Blazers still get the 127-125 win. McCollum, Lillard, and Nurkic combined were just too much for Brooklyn to handle as they combine for 89 points. We all know exactly why the Grizzlies gave Mike Conley that contract a year or so ago. They for real can't even get a single win without him. As with Conley out, the Grizzlies are now on a 7-game losing streak, 104-92 to the Denver Nuggets, thanks to Nikola Jokic nearly having a triple-double with 28 points, 13 rebounds, and 8 assists. That wraps up all the action from last night, though. You guys know, vote for the player of the day by following the link down in the description box below. Just remember, the only players whose team won are eligible to win player of the day. And last time, you guys selected Russell Westbrook and his 34 points, 10 rebounds, and 9 assists and 4 steals as the player of the day. But thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel for more daily NBA news and highlights. But until tomorrow, keep getting the buckets, Team SDC, and I'm out of here. Peace.